Welcome to Orion Today. I'm Joe Johnson, and I am joined by Michael Dwyer. Welcome back to the set.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm always happy to jump in and be a co-host here on Orion Today. It's a great time of year. Spring has sprung.
Well, sometimes it feels like it, sometimes it doesn't. You know, we were spoiled a few weeks ago when temperatures were up near the 70s. I wasn't wearing a jacket. It was really nice. And then next thing you know, it's cold and snowing. March is bipolar. It's all over the place.
Well, the Earth is bipolar. I think that explains a lot
Literally.
of our problems, yes.
Yeah, you know, they say March goes out like a lamb, right? In like a lion, out like a lamb. So I'm kind of hoping for that. I'm hoping that things will get mild over the next several weeks as we head into April.
Well, now that the winter sports have wound down, the skiing and snowboarding is over with, I'm ready to move on to spring. And I enjoy a good spring.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes we only have like 2 weeks of spring, and then everyone's complaining about the heat. So yeah, we are back and forth a little bit, but hopefully we'll have a nice spring where we can enjoy the spring flowers and the mild temperatures. It's not too warm, not too cold. And I think we all would want that.
Do you get into any like gardening, planting, anything like that?
Yeah, so that if the weather's too nice, then I'm out there more, which I guess is good. It's good and healthy exercise out. But you know, we've got so much spring cleanup if you have a home. Branches, and why don't they fall all winter long, and now that snow's melted, you got to pick those up. So yeah, it's good, healthy cleanup, and but yeah, then we'll be out there edging and mowing and planting flowers, trying to look presentable for the neighbors.
You know, that's one of the worst things about this time of the year is when all that snow melts away, there's just debris and leaves and dirt everywhere. And so that's where spring cleaning comes into play. And I know as Earth Day gets closer, it's, what is it, like April 25th or something like that?
That sounds right.
The community heads out. They do an organized cleanup. It's called the Orion Greenup. And in the past, where it was pretty much one day, they realized that not everybody can get out that same day, so it kind of takes place over the course of several days. But it's really great that volunteers head out, and they're all get designated areas, and they go out there and they wear vests and they clean up the town a little bit. So that'll be coming up soon, the Orion Greenup.
Yeah, spring really just lends itself to that, not only outdoor cleaning, but indoor cleaning. Right? You get to open the windows and get fresh air, and then you start realizing, I got to get rid of stuff, and I got to clean this. And it's nice to have the four seasons, but it also, I think, mentally, it's very good for us.
Yeah, you know, I mean, what is spring? It's a rebirth. It's time to start anew. So yeah, that's a good time to declutter, clean up, and get ready for the summer, which I love so much. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a great summer here in Michigan. We always do. It might only last a couple days, but we'll have a great summer.
That's right. Do you get into this March Madness stuff at all?
Is that football, baseball,
that's basketball going on right now. College
so the answer would be no. So that's all the basketball stuff. That's the college stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm almost kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I've never, ever filled out a March Madness bracket until this year, when I got a text from my sister saying that she was starting a family bracket. And I don't normally watch college basketball, so I'm just filling out the bracket blindly. And they say that, you know, when it comes to those brackets, there's a lot of beginner's luck involved. A lot of people who've never filled out a bracket before, they fill it out because they like the color of the jerseys or the team mascot or whatever.
Sure.
And they tend to do very, very well. I came out of the gate on fire, which surprised me, and then things went south really, really quickly. And my bracket has pretty much completely fallen apart. But there's a possibility that Michigan and Michigan State might be facing each other in a couple of weeks if they advance. Right now, they've narrowed it down to the Sweet 16. So now, starting Thursday, I think it is, they're going to start to whittle it down to 8. And there's a possibility that Michigan and Michigan State might face each other. That'd be really, really interesting.
And it's one game Right. That changes. It's not a series. It's only one game between
Well,
two
each team
teams.
just plays each other once, and it's win or go home sort of a thing. So you're fighting for your life up until the championship game.
Okay, and then that's where these terms, the Sweet 16 and the Final Four and that sort of stuff comes from. Okay, I've heard all these terms. I just don't follow it.
See, you get educated. Speaking of basketball, this might be hard to believe, but I went to the Little Caesars Arena for the first time ever to watch the Pistons play, who are apparently doing very, very well. Have you ever made it out to LCA yet?
I have not been there for anything.
I know
anything.
concerts. I haven't seen a concert there. You know, I was a little spoiled having the Palace pretty much right in our backyard out here, and I've gone to the Palace many, many times. And, you know, I say you really feel old when all of the venues that I've watched sports growing up are all gone now. The Silverdome is gone. The Palace is gone, which is shocking to me. Joe Louis Arena, Tiger Stadium, all gone. So now you have all four major sports teams all playing within walking distance of each other in Detroit. What's your opinion of that? Do you like seeing all the Detroit sports teams in downtown Detroit, or did you like having them out here in the suburbs?
Well, like you, I enjoyed the Palace being super close out here in the northern suburbs for concerts. I did see a Pistons game there. I also saw a Pistons game at the Silverdome when they played there.
Me too, yeah.
So having those Pontiac and Auburn Hills, really nice when big shows come to town. It's a deciding factor.
Yeah.
Right? You think, well, I'm going to spend so much for tickets, but I know how to get there. I know how to get in and out. It's close to home. Going down to Detroit, it's a whole different parking environment. It's expensive. There's so much of it. I'm unfamiliar with the terrain.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, for us out here in the suburbs, it's a bit of a hassle to drive all the way down there. Yeah. Now, speaking of sporting arenas and seeing sports in old facilities, this will really date me. One of my earliest memories I have was sitting in the upper deck at Tiger Stadium, looking down on the Detroit Lions. Did you know the Detroit Lions played at Tiger Stadium before moving to the Silverdome?
If I had heard that, I've forgotten it. So.
But yeah, I have this vivid memory of watching the Lions playing on the ballpark diamond before they moved out to the Silverdome. So I've seen the Silverdome come and go, the Palace come and go. It's really kind of depressing.
It is. But I guess that's just progress.
That's right. One big thing that happened fairly recently, the on our last episode of Orion Today, we had the library stop in. Chase McMunn, their director,
I saw that.
gave us an update of what's happening at the library, and that night that he was here was the big award ceremony for their Battle of the Books. They hold the competition on Saturday, then they hand out awards on Tuesday evening at the high school. So not only was I there on Saturday, but I went back for the award ceremony. And there's a little bonus at the end of this particular video piece where we go back 30 years to Battle of the Books 1995, when it was only in its 10th year, and they held it at the meeting room at the library. Now it's in the Walden Middle School gymnasium. It's just grown
That
so
big,
much.
huh?
So you'll see a little bit of how Battle of the Books has grown. But let's take a look at the highlights from this most recent Battle of the Books, celebrating its 40th year.
On the morning of Saturday, March 8th, 138 fifth graders, making up 33 teams, gathered at Walden Middle School for the 40th annual Battle of the Books competition. Hosted by the Orion Township Public Library, the students were given 10 books to read back in November.
Variety. So we have books like in verse, so poetry books, nonfiction, graphic novels, realistic fiction. We have books like just so kids get a taste of different genres that they may not pick up on their own.
On the day of the event, the students were presented with 50 questions and had to respond with the correct title and author for a possible total of 100 points. Many of the teams wore colorful costumes, and some even brought props and backdrops.
Well, it's one of the most fun events we do per year, but we like to do it because we want kids excited to read. We want to introduce kids to books, just reading for fun, reading for pleasure, and not worrying about reading because they have to, just kind of reading because they want to.
I'm observing a lot of energy, which is pretty common for Battle of the Books. I think the kids always bring a ton of energy. It's a lot of fun. I love seeing it because it's just kids enjoying reading. It's a good team activity that they can develop reading skills. So.
On the following Tuesday, the students returned for a victory party at Lake Orion High School. Before announcing the winners, the students were treated to a presentation by Rebecca Mix, author of The Moss Heart's Promise, one of the 10 books the students read for Battle of the Books. A Lake Orion native now residing in Royal Oak, the author took part in Battle of the Books in 2006.
I think it's wonderful. It's such a great way to get kids who love reading and also maybe kids who are a little bit reluctant to get into reading because they want to hang out with their friends. And it also just exposes them to books they wouldn't pick up otherwise. As an author, I love it, but also as someone who was a reluctant reader and didn't love reading when I did Battle of the Books and found books I loved, I think it's so great. So the kids and I are going to do what I call build a book. I'm going to walk them through how you build a story from an idea, because when I talk to kids that love reading and writing, they go, how do I write? I'm going to give them the framework on how to do that.
Following the presentation, each team was called up on stage for a photo op. Then the team awards were handed out. The award for Best Team Name went to the Rita Lottles. Coming away with the Most Creative Costume Award were the Prisoners of Doom. And the Best Team Spirit Award went to the Chapter Chads. Finishing in third place with 93 points out of 100 was Team Gotta Read Them All. In second place with 94 points was Team Readers Club. And named the winners of the 40th Annual Battle of the Books with 95 points was Team Sly Spies, representing Pink Creek Elementary School.
I was very scared, and I was like, still, my heart was pounding, but like, I was like, oh, we didn't place. I was so scared. But then when she said, like, the awards, people, and I was so happy. Like, I was so happy. It was very scary.
What was your reaction?
I was kind of nervous, like if they forgot about us. But when they said that, like, if you weren't called yet, that there were like still awards left, that I was really excited to see what we got.
That's awesome. What was your reaction, and what do you think is the main reason you guys won?
I think the main reason is we just had like all the spelling, and we read the books a lot. And when they said that like the winners weren't announced yet, I was kind of in shock for a second, and then I just got really excited.
That's awesome. What do you think the key to winning was, and what was your reaction?
When they didn't call us, I was like, oh, they're not ready yet. They're just taking a quick break. And then when she just started talking about it, I was like, oh, wait. Did they actually forget us? But then she was like, no, don't worry, we still have some to hand out, and then we're going to do awards. And I think the key to winning is being focused, not messing around too much, and like, we would meet every Sunday, and we would practice what it would be like at battle, and we had all the spelling right, we had all the punctuation, and we even had actually smaller cards when we would practice. So I think that helped a lot for us to win.
As I said earlier, Battle of the Books celebrated its 40th year in 2025. Let's go back in time to 1995 when the 10th annual event was held in the library's meeting room. The team representing St. Joseph's School claimed the title 30 years ago.
Students at Pine Tree Elementary were challenged to defend their title as fifth graders from each elementary school had to answer 20 questions based on the assigned stories. Each correct answer merited 2 points, and a bonus point was added if the story's author could be named. Organizer Linda Nixon described the purpose of the event.
It gets the boys and girls to read books that they wouldn't even look at, because I picked the award winners, I picked a mixture. I mean, we have fun books, and we have animal stories, and historical fiction, and science fiction, and the classics and such, but some of them wouldn't read anything except Ann Martin's Babysitter's Club or some of the sports books, and this gets them into something else.
Though a few schools stayed close throughout most of the event, one school began to pull away toward the end, and when the final numbers were confirmed, the students representing St. Joseph's School came out on top. Fifth grader Teresa Olson described the key to winning.
Well, we tried to each read all 10 books, and then during the last week we had 2 were our specialties, and that's how we answered them, because each person gets 2 books to specialize in.
Well, I learned a lot about teamwork and how to be prepared for things, and how if you're prepared you can win, and that you're always the winner if you win or lose.
That it doesn't mean everything that you have to win, and it's hard to participate against other classes, and it's kind of hard to read 10 books, but we got them all finished and we won. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed taking part in this because I thought it was a fun thing to do, and I also like to read.
I learned that the books are really interesting, and it's fun being in the battle. It gave me a chance to learn about some other types of books that you could read, and it gave me a chance to make some better friends.
For more information about upcoming events and programs, you can call 248-693-3000 or visit orionlibrary.org. From Lake Orion High School, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ON TV News.
So Battle of the Books, that's always a fun event I look forward to covering, and I've been covering it for 30 plus years, and it's amazing to think they've been doing it 40 years now. And it was interesting interviewing the children's author, Rebecca Mix. She said that she took part in the Lake Orion Battle of the Books in like around 2006, and then came back as a published author. So it was really cool to see her achieve that level of success and come back and tell the kids.
Yeah, it's a
about
good
it.
testimonial that these types of programs help people read and write.
Yeah. So great event. Keep it up, the library. They're always one step ahead and trying to keep the library relevant and making reading fun.
Yeah, libraries are a great resource.
Yeah. All right, switching gears now, we have our guest Patricia Schapira joining us now on set. You are the director of Love Inc. Is that your title?
I am. I'm the executive director of Love in the Name of Christ of North Oakland County. Yep.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for
First
having
of
me.
all, before we get into promoting your big fundraiser, talk about Love Inc. How long has the organization been serving this community?
So we have been here since 2007. So we're a national organization that's been around for 45 years, but our affiliate has been here since 2007. So a few years.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, we love it.
So explain to someone who doesn't know, how does Love Inc. work, and how is the organization, how do they get the area churches involved?
Yeah, so our mission is to mobilize local churches to help people in need. And what that looks like on a day-to-day basis is someone will call in and say, hey, I need help with electricity bill, I can't pay my consumer's payment, I don't have enough food to eat. So what we try to do is we connect them with resources in the community, have them come in, do an intake with us in person for about an hour to find out how they got into that position and how we can work with them and our local partner churches and our donors to make them more sustainable and get them out of that situation.
So how do they qualify? Is there a qualification? Is it just like a determination you make just following the interview?
Yeah, there's no qualification necessary, so they just call and we take a look at their budget, find out how they got into that situation, what resources do they have that they can pool with ours along with the churches to help get them out of that situation. And we connect them with organizations like Oxford Orion Fish and Salvation Army and just the different counseling centers in the area, because we try to look at the whole person and not just the problems that they're presenting to us, because folks get into a situation where they need help. It's just a speed bump, and we'd like to show them what resources are out there to help move them out of that situation.
Now, did you come about because the organization saw a gap, something that wasn't being fulfilled somewhere between municipalities and churches and other nonprofits? You're like, somebody needs to fill this gap. Is that
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. No one's ever asked me that before, but that's exactly how it was formed. So it was taking, there were needs in the community that were not being fulfilled, and so the partner churches, since they're already, they have large groups of congregants who want to do work, good works in the community, and they have volunteers, so it's mobilizing them to help those people that are struggling. So for example, we would have one church that have a clothes closet or a food pantry or a diaper ministry, or we used to have like a home goods ministry. And so the churches run those ministries, so we work together to help people in the community.
Where are we now? Because rents are skyrocketing, groceries are skyrocketing. Yep. We all know about the price of eggs. My God, I don't know if this was photoshopped or not, but I saw someone post a picture of a dozen eggs and the price was like $15 or something. Maybe that's out west. What are you seeing now? Are you seeing an influx, increase in need?
We are seeing a lot of people who are homeless, and there are not a lot of resources in the community for that. There are different Love Incs that are part of different, cohorts and groups where we talk about stuff to do with folks that are coming in who are homeless, but there's not a lot of affordable housing in the area. So there were some churches in Pontiac that were supposed to be having shelters over the winter that we were able to send some folks to, but a lot of them were not able to function over the winter. They didn't receive funding. So it's a really big problem. So a lot of times, we'll refer folks to see if they can, stay with family members for a while. That's usually one of the first things that we address with them, because that's a tough one. That's a problem in all of Oakland County, and it's frustrating because there's not a lot out there to help.
Do you call family members on their behalf? Is that something you would know?
We don't. So part of what we do is, if we hear that someone needs assistance, we always ask them to take that first step to call us, because we want to enable them and give them the dignity and the power to take control of their own situation and just help us help them, but not take that dignity away from them to be able to do that, right? Because we don't know what that family situation is, and we want to teach them a better way to do things, so that they have the power themselves to take care of their situation.
Where are the closest shelters? Are we talking Pontiac?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I know in Lapeer they used to do, there's also another Love Inc in Lapeer, they used to do a program with a different church. Every weekend would take folks in, but that's never, gotten any speed in this area. But yeah, it's difficult because there are not a lot of resources out there at all.
Now, in relationship to food, obviously we have the food pantries. There's Oxford Orion Fish, there's one at Canterbury Village, but also there are churches that offer meals, no questions asked, every day of the week. Do you want to touch on that, share what you know about that?
Yep, so that came about through Love Inc. when we found out, when we were first formed, that there was a need for food in the community. So we reached out to our partner churches and asked them if they'd be willing to run those community meals. So there are community meals Monday, Tuesday. There's one on Wednesday at Emmanuel Congregational in Oxford as well, and then that's not run through the church but at the church. And then there's also one on Thursday, I believe, and Saturday. And so anybody can come in to get a free meal, no questions asked.
Wow. Yeah, imagine being a parent possibly with children, not knowing where your next meal is going to come from, and knowing that you can get a hot meal pretty much any day of the week. That's amazing to me.
Yep, and then with
it is
fish.
amazing, and that's got to be one of the obstacles, is that people that find themselves in difficult times like this, they've never been there before.
Right, they don't
and
know
they
where
don't
to
know
turn.
where to go.
Yep. And that's why we love when they call us, because we can say, all right, we'd like to be able to help you pay this bill or do this, but let's work together to find out, okay, we can save you some money on food, or if you need some, mental health care, we can get you to a counselor that will be able to charge you a reduced rate. Or do you have a church family, right? If not, we'd consider, reaching out to one of our partner churches to join, see if you like the message there, and, they can become part of your community.
That's
so
awesome.
You really help them try to identify where the help is for them and their community and their circles first.
Absolutely.
And this got to take a lot of money and time, so there's got to be some fundraising you need to do.
We do have to do fundraising.
So
that was an awesome segue, by the way. Thank you very much.
He's a pro.
Yes. Yeah. And so we are doing we have one large fundraiser during the year because we believe it's better to have partners who believe in our mission, who want to contribute all year round, rather than just doing continual fundraisers. But then we do the one fundraiser at Indianwood to raise awareness and also thank the folks in the community who have supported us throughout the year.
Sure, yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
You got a big fundraiser coming up, third annual Share the Love fundraiser, Saturday, April 12th.
Yes.
What will someone experience if they purchase a ticket and attend the event?
So it's semi-formal, and we're going to have a live auction, which has a lot of great items, as we've got listed here. We've got some Detroit Lions preseason tickets. We've got a foursome at Indianwood. We've got a kayak, a Kid Rock painting, some getaways to Port Aransas, Texas, some great Adirondack chairs. So those are all things that people can purchase in our live auctions to support what we do all year round. We're really excited. We have a partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield where Eric Hipple is going to be our guest speaker, and we're really excited about that because obviously former Lion, if you go a ways back, you know that, but also he's experienced some struggles in his life and been able to overcome them, and so that's what we want to be able to share with folks, that through our work and through working together with our churches and our donors and our partners, we can help those folks that are struggling move to the other side.
We just played some video where we saw people taking part in a silent auction. Talk about where those baskets come from. Who helps make that possible?
Oh, so it's actually wonderful. One of the ways we try to do this, at least I do personally, and I know we do as staff, all the local businesses that we support, like that's who we feel the most comfortable asking to give back to the community. So whether or not it's, CFE Coffee in Oxford or Starbucks or Jet's Pizza, all of those local community businesses that we support personally throughout the year are the ones that we asked to support us as well, because it's all really about relationship building. And so we try to do that with our churches, with our donors, with our folks that we support. But also when we ask people to give to us, we like to be able to say, hey, we'd love for you to participate because you are a business that we support all year round.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we love it.
I always use that expression, it takes a village, and this is a perfect example of the community coming together to help make change, make things happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So in what ways the money that's raised at this event, in what ways does it support Love Inc.?
Yeah, so we're able to purchase gift cards for folks. We're really actually able to do, that's really a nice little stopgap for people. So when they come in and we're kind of working along with that process, if we don't have enough funding to pay the entire bill, because we don't normally want to do that, we want to participate with them to make sure that they have some. But, pretty much we're able to offer, gift cards to everybody who comes in. So, whether it be $50 or $100, so part of that money goes towards that, and we're really excited to be able to do that. And also, if we don't have the funding that we need from some of our churches, and we have that car repair that we need to help somebody with, or that DTE bill, or that consumer's energy bill, we can use that money to help offset the bills that those folks have when they come into us.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
Is this a sellout event? Do people need to purchase their tickets soon?
They need to purchase them ASAP. It is a sellout event every year. Yes.
How can they go about doing that?
Yeah,
Where
so
can they find tickets?
Yep, they can go to our website and find them. They can just scan the code, or they can call the office, and we can get upset that that way. They call 248-693-4357, or go to the website loveincofnoc.org, and they can go ahead and buy tickets that way.
People may be getting their tax refunds around this time of the year. Maybe a little bit can go to Love Inc., don't you think?
We would love that. We would love that.
Sounds good to me.
It's not just what we do like this time of the year, it's what we do all year round every year.
Yeah, and the need seems to just keep getting greater and greater.
Does.
So,
it does.
Well, thanks for coming out, and thanks for all you do in your organization. You're doing great things over there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Now, we have a really great relationship with the Lake Orion School District. They're going to be moving into this building very, very soon. We're going to be sharing this building with Lake Orion Community Schools, and we also work with them to produce programming for not only our channel, but the school channel. And they have a program called Inside the Dragons, and just recently they were at Paint Creek Elementary School for their big science night. Let's take a look at that now.
One of the exciting nights each year at Paint Creek Elementary is the display of science in February. The school is filled with different types of science opportunities for students and parents to visit. The science pulls from across the district, shown by the Lake Orion High School Robotics Team 302 and the Walden Robotics Team joining the Paint Creek Robotics Team in the cafeteria. The Paint Creek team showed how its programming works.
The programs can be downloaded to the robot from a laptop, which is what we use, so we can just change the programs. Okay.
Oh, that's so cool. He's so cool. Yeah, I know. His dad helped, and his dad.
The gym was filled with student projects from various grades. Student projects began months earlier as students formulated plans in December and began to assemble them in January.
What's it about?
It's how your brain sends signals to your body and stuff.
How much time did it take you?
About 2.
I mean, are there different stations you like to go to every time?
Yeah, usually more all the way down and lower on the sensory items.
I made a game called Magnaball. There's a ball right here, and you have to roll it to make it one of the holes. There's a fidget spinner under here, and you have to spin it. And when the magnet sticks to one of these, you get the certain amount of points that it says on it, like 25, 50, or 75. And then here you make 100. You get 100 if you land it in there.
How long did it take you to make all this?
Like how many?
A couple weeks?
Yeah, a couple weeks, yeah.
That's all.
Pulleys. I mean, my pulley's right over here.
Okay.
And this is 44 pounds, but plus this equals 54 pounds. Light as a feather.
Oh, look at that. Wow. So how did you come up with the whole plan here?
I don't know.
So how did you know that you wanted to make a pulley system?
Because my dad was lifting off options to do for the science fair, and I picked pulleys.
Okay. So do you want to explain to me about what's happening on your drawing?
These are some QR codes to what we did, to what we watched. And these are some definitions of pulleys, mechanical advantage, and redirecting force.
The gym also featured a location for younger students to build with giant blocks and play different games on tables with the assistance of some high school students. The media center featured an animal trainer who brought some of his favorites to share with and educate the students. The high school elementary connection was a big hit. In one classroom, the Lake Orion High School Science Honor Society students ran experiments for the younger students to see what science could bring. They made the experiments hands-on so they could be interactive for the younger kids.
Yeah, we each made an experiment. Like some people did car racing, some people did oogling, and then we'll have them come around and then. Yeah.
We just do a lot of volunteering, like science-based volunteering, trying to like spread knowledge about, I don't know, just science.
I think it's a goal for sure. We're excited to just share our knowledge and have fun with different experiments and show them all about science.
Mm-hmm. And we're excited to get them like interested in science and like kind of give them like a spark that they can go on to study things later in the future.
So lots of fun stuff happening with Lake Orion Community Schools, and you can watch that program Inside the Dragons on the Educational Access Channel, Public Access Channel, where we kind of keep you informed on what's happening with
School
the school
wasn't that
district.
much fun when I went.
Did you take part in the science fair when you remember doing that?
I don't think we had a science fair.
Really? I was always kind of the last minute kid, like, you know, the night before I'm asking my mom for supplies, you know. The one thing I remember making as a kid was was like an eardrum using a toilet paper cardboard tube with tissue over the end held on with a rubber band, and that was like the representation of the human eardrum. And I don't remember being recognized or anything, but that's the one
Can
time
you
I
blame
remember
them? That sounds pretty simple
Oh,
and
that's-
cheap.
I got by, just barely. Now, one thing we want to promote, you know, here on our show, we promote a lot of things happening in the community, from fundraisers and festivals and parades and all sorts of stuff. But sometimes we want to toot our own horn here at ONTV. And one of the main things we offer here at ONTV that I take pride in is our video production classes. We're winding down on our editing class. We have Adobe Premiere Pro here at ONTV, and we sort of do an overview of non-linear editing. That will be coming to an end next week, and then we're going to start the whole series over again on April 7th. It's every Monday night here at the studio beginning at 7 p.m. We're going to kick things off with our 5-week studio class, and that's a lot of fun. We usually get
tons of fun.
Yeah, we get a group of people who come through together, and they learn how to direct in the control room, they learn how to operate cameras, and they learn how to sit right here in these chairs and talk to the camera. And the end result at the end of the 5 weeks is that the group puts together a final project that they bring in guests, or they share a hobby, or something like that. And so it's a lot of fun. We get a program out of it. And believe it or not, upon completion of our classes, all of this is yours to use for no additional charge. We are a nonprofit organization, so we don't make any money renting out our class or our studio. So if you take the class and you have an idea for a program, let us know. Give us a call, and we'll get you involved.
It's a great
here at
resource.
ONTV.
I've taken the class a couple times. It's a lot of fun. Learn something every time. I've said that before.
Yeah.
But now it's in a very exciting time because we've got new cameras in the studio.
New lights, new equipment, all sorts of stuff. We got a couple of robot cameras where we can move them with a joystick from the control room. So I love when we roll out new technology here at ONTV. I really embrace it, and we want to share that with the community. And there's so many outlets. If you were to create something, we now have, you know, YouTube and TikTok and social media like Facebook and Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. But your videos can reach a far greater audience than viewers just within the borders of Lake Orion. So we want to help you
It's new
do that.
media, it's independent journalism, it's all these terms that we've heard out there. You don't have to rely just on the big three networks anymore. You can become your own news program, your own documentary program. There's so many options. We've got podcasting as well for people. It's a huge resource, and all around the state, all around the country, ONTV is really a signature public access television place.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of what we do here. And, you know, if you're sitting at home watching the news and complaining that it's too biased one way or the other, then get your butt in here and do your own show, and you could express your viewpoint, your opinion, and share it with the world.
Yeah.
In addition to our classes, which is mostly geared toward adults, on Monday, coming up in June, June 16th through the 20th, we offer what's called our Kids Video Camp. And we get about, 10, 12 kids who come through, and they do sort of an accelerated version of our classes where they meet every day of the week, Monday through Friday, for 3 hours. And they go through all the training that we normally would do on Mondays. And then we plan and create a little program. And that's our final project. We call it Channel Surfing. And that's a lot of fun, sitting down with the kids, hearing their ideas, trying to figure out what we can do in a day and what we can't. I remember a couple of years ago, this kid had like a multi-page script that involved the Harry Potter characters. It was epic. And I'm like, we can't shoot that in one day. We just can't do that. So usually it's just a little, sketch comedy.
But now that you're gone through the classes, you can come back and do it yourself.
That's exactly what I tell them. So to get involved with our adult classes or our kids' video camp, go to our website, Orion, ONTV, orionontv.org. And if you click on classes, you can register and pay for classes online.
They're
and then
very
show up
reasonable.
here.
Very
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. Our Monday classes are $55. We also offer podcast classes for $25, I think it is. Come in and do your own podcast. So now last year with our kids video camp, like I said, the last day is when we produce a final project. So we had a lot of fun putting together last year's final project. As a matter of fact, speaking of technology, I used ChatGPT to write the script, and I was blown away. I was very impressed with the script. I put in the parameters, it cranked out the script, and this is what we came up with.
Alright team, listen up. Today we're going to pull up the greatest heist this library has ever seen.
I've hacked into their security system. We have a small window of opportunity to get in undetected.
And once we're inside, no one stands a chance against me.
I'll create a distraction at the front desk to keep the librarian busy.
And I'll make sure we can get into locked doors or cabinets.
I'll keep watch outside and let you know if anyone's coming.
I'll have the getaway car ready to roll in a moment's notice. I'll sneak ahead and scout the layout of the library.
I'll keep track of our progress to make sure we stay on schedule.
What can I do?
Lily, you're with me. You'll be my right-hand woman on this mission.
Time to find the treasure.
This is it, Lily. The moment of truth.
A gold book. This could be worth a fortune.
Uh-oh. Sounds like our distraction just got a whole lot bigger.
Don't worry, I got this. I'm a weirdo! Look at me! Look at me! Look at me!
We've got incoming guards. I'll take care of them. I'll put them all off.
on, buckle up. We're getting out of here.
Good job, team. We may have caused a bit of chaos back there, but we got the treasure, and that's all that matters.
Where did they go?
I think they left us.
I guess we're walking.
So that was a lot of fun, even though it's very similar to herding cats, trying to keep the kids on focus. You know, we'd be in the middle of shooting a scene and two kids would just start having a conversation off camera, and I'm like, we're shooting here. Now, the interesting thing about that, you may have noticed that in that video that we watched, but all of those library scenes were shot right here on this stage, using our green screen, which is behind this curtain. I didn't want to drag a dozen kids over to the library and have them running around like maniacs. So we shot them all.
It's a normal day at the library.
Yeah. But we shot all of the kids here. Then I went to the library afterward and shot all the background stuff and then put the kids in those backgrounds. And in some cases, it's pretty convincing. I think you really...
Yeah, I thought you were there.
Yeah. So it was all the magic of our technology that we have here at ONTV. It was a lot of fun.
And where can you learn how to do that?
You come to our classes or sign up for Kids Camp at ONTV.org. And looking at those summer scenes, we shot that last June. Man, that has me really looking forward to the nice weather arriving. And one thing that arrives with the nice weather is the return of concerts here in Lake Orion. And we have them at Wildwood Amphitheater, we have them at the Gazebo, and we also record the North Oakland Concert Band, who performs here in the area on a regular basis. And here's a clip from their show that they did in February called Melodic Voices. So they're going to be performing at the high school again on May 4th, and you can visit nocb.org for ticket information to that show. And like I said, the concert series are going to be starting soon at Wildwood and the Gazebo, and 20 Front Street has live performances.
Yeah, but we started talking about how spring has sprung, and we're kind of in that middle ground, but we're going to hit the ground running here soon with everything. All these concerts, all kinds of activities. Our schedules are going to be filled up.
Yeah, it's going to start getting busy here in Lake Orion really, really soon, which means I'm going to be busy because I go out and cover a lot of the events that we see here in the community.
But it's a lake community, and it's a lot of fun in the summer.
It is. There's something about a lake community, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, people used to come up north. This used to be up north for Pontiac and Detroit. So people kind of came up here to get away from everything. So there's just kind of that vibe here in Lake Orion, even though there's a lot of development going on. There's crazy amount of development coming up. So we're going to be seeing new apartment buildings and retail and all sorts of stuff showing up real soon.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah. I was kind of looking at rendering stuff. I'm like, we're going to start kind of looking like Royal Oak or something out this way. So
let's hope not too much like Royal Oak.
But speaking of all the events that are going to be happening here in the community very, very soon, Becky returns to this episode with a brand new cut of Quick Hits. Let's take a look.
Join the Orion Library on Wednesday afternoon for Pet Pal beginning at 2 o'clock. The library will be making pet-themed crafts in honor of National Craft Month. For more information, visit orionlibrary.org. The Orion Parks and Recs will be hosting a spring break car bingo on Wednesday. The bingo fun will take place at the Orion Center parking lot beginning at 1 o'clock. All ages are welcome. Do you enjoy creating Minecraft? Join the Orion Library this Thursday for Minecraft Mania from 2 to 3 o'clock. The event will include games, crafts, and more for the avid Minecraft fan. This program is for 3rd through 8th grade students. Please register at orionlibrary.org. Grab a headlamp and join the Wint Nature Center on Friday for a night hike around the vernal pool. Learn to identify different salamanders and their eggs. This program runs from 7 to 9 p.m. and is suitable for ages 8 and older. Pre-registration is required by calling 248-858-0916. Mark your calendar for Orion Library's celebration. This fundraising event is themed the Roaring 20 style and will be filled with jazz music, dancing, food, drinks, and more. The event will take place on Wednesday, April 9th. Doors open at 6:30. For more information and tickets, visit orionlibrary.org. Well, looks like we're in for a slight warm-up, but rain is on the way. Wednesday's forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies with a high of 39 and low 25. Partly cloudy again on Thursday with high 56, low 36. Showers on Friday with a high 56 and low 44. Rain on Saturday with a high 52 and low 40. And rain again on Sunday with a high of 49 and low 32. That's it for this week's ONTV Quick Hit. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
The Lake Orion Lions Club invites you to attend the 9th annual Lions Races at Boulder Point Golf Club on Saturday, April 5th. Sponsors create large wooden lions that take part in multiple races throughout the evening. Place your bets and win some bucks while helping the Lions Club in their charitable efforts in the community. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. with the races starting at 6:30 p.m. A taco bar is included. For ticket information, go to the Lake Orion Lions Facebook page or visit lakeorionlions.org.
So that event's a lot of fun. They allow us to enter our lion every year because we give them coverage and help promote the event. So our wooden ONTV lion is going to be taking part in those races, which is a lot of fun. Have you ever been?
No, I have not been. It reminds me of horse racing because it's on the Bluegrass Stakes Day, which is the last major prep race before the Kentucky Derby. So seeing animals run in a line like that makes me think about horse racing.
Yeah, Kentucky Derby's not too far off. Was it May 3rd, I think it is?
First Saturday in May.
Yeah, so that's always a lot of fun. So yeah, lots of events coming up. You saw in Quick Hits, the library has their Roaring 20s event right around the corner, and they're going to shut down the library that day and get ready for it. And the library is going to have a Roaring 20s theme, and I think they're going to be making gin in a bathtub and all sorts of stuff. No, I'm kidding about that part, but it's back to prohibition. But no, that looks like a fun event. So yeah, we're going to be getting busy very,
You're
very
going to pull out
soon.
that flapper dress that you have?
I'm more of the gangsta type. I'll have my violin case, and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to covering that. That's a lot of fun. They used to have, the Friends of the Library used to have an event where you could travel around the world. They would have like a Greece-themed event, Italy, that sort of thing, and
That sounds
try
fun.
foods and everything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious how that's going to go. It should be a lot of fun. So yeah, big plans this weekend as we wind down here?
Not big plans. No,
Yeah?
no. I think just maybe thinking about the yard. Only thinking though.
Right now,
And with that forecast of rain, I won't be going out there.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks, I was thinking about going down to Kentucky to see one of those races. It's a lot of fun leading up to the Kentucky Derby. Now you love sports, but do you like horse racing?
I have, like, there was a track out in the new Boston area out by the airport, and then what's the there's one that just recently closed, Northfield Downs.
Northfield Downs
I think they're
closed.
going to demolish that, but I think they're opening a brand new racetrack not too far from that. So that's always a good time, like heading out to the racetrack and making small bets so you don't lose too much money.
Well, I think all sports should be 2 minutes long, just like a horse race, and that you can bet on it.
Yeah.
That would just make it much easier.
Yeah, that's probably what got me interested in March Madness is you could make a small amount wager and possibly win lots of money. Not me, because I'm pretty much done, but that's what I'll be doing this weekend is watching the Sweet 16 and then get that whittled down to 8 and see how that shapes out. So that'll probably be the bulk of my weekend is just relaxing and watching basketball. So, yeah.
Wow.
All right, well, thanks for coming down this
Yeah,
week.
it's a
Good
pleasure
seeing
being
you as
here.
always. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks right here on Orion Today.